What's going on, Raider Nation? Sorry if this video is a little bit off in location due to people taking a nap in my room. Gotta make it out here. What a win. What a win. This one was one of those games that I didn't have expectations for. They had a lead on us. It was quite... what a game. I'm still just trying to recover from games like these. I wasn't feeling confident this defense. There are a lot of things negative and positive to this game, but first off, let me just break it down here with some composure. Negative to this game was the defense, and it was pretty obvious. I think the pass rush was pretty bad most of this game. I know near the end we finally got the stop we needed before driving down the field. We got that stop. Huge stop by the defense. But they were giving up yards, giving up catches. We were lucky, I think, with those turnovers. That one fumble that happened, that I think Antonio Brown caught it and he fumbled. It was, I forgot who it was, but somebody fumbled the ball when they caught it and were going to run, but they knocked it loose. That was lucky. Defense was giving up plays left and right, and that's Big Ben being an elite quarterback. Obviously, for those of you who had Heath Miller in fantasy, which I did, boy, I was obviously pissed off still because of the Raiders losing, but dang. What a game. The defense still gave up yards. A lot of holes. The secondary unproven. I thought we did okay stopping the run, but I think it's more Pittsburgh not knowing how to run the ball more than anything else. They did pretty well in pass protection on us for the most part. That's just credit to Pittsburgh's offensive line. The other thing negative I didn't like was the onside kick. I know some of you would love that call, some of you won't like it. I personally didn't because it was the third quarter. I know you're supposed to do it when you don't expect it, but I didn't feel it was the time to do that. The execution was off. I know technically we would have looked like geniuses if it happened, but either way, the defense wouldn't have gotten a stop anyways. They probably would have, instead of making it a 90-yard drive, it was a 40 or 50-yard drive for a touchdown anyway, so it didn't really matter. Yeah, of course the other negative was Heyward-Bey being hurt, which that makes this game hurt a bit. I really felt that injury and the officiating, which we all know replacement refs have been bad this season. We've been hearing a lot about it. I haven't had to see too much or complain about the refs, but that call, there was no flag on the helmet-to-helmet contact. I didn't like that. They didn't call it, but the injury, the wide receiving core is thin. Denarius Moore, the only guy with previous experience. We got to ride with rookies and Derek Hagan. A lot of unprovenness in the receiving core. Now let's go on to the positives. A lot of good things. First thing, Carson Palmer. I told you I'm not worried about Carson Palmer, and I've said it before. He hasn't worried me at all. The one interception was not his fault. That was Denarius Moore slipping. Just kind of a bad slip that turned into a pick, turned into points later, but Carson Palmer was good. He was hitting his targets. He's playing the way I've been expecting him to, and all you who says he's past his prime, shut up. Anyways, the running game was somewhat positive. There were predictabilities still. I think McFadden ran the ball much better in terms of yards. I thought there were times we shouldn't have run the ball when we did, and vice versa, but either way, we ran the ball much better, and McFadden had that one big bruising run for offense. I thought that was going to be our only score of the game, but Pittsburgh's defense, not the same without James Harrison. I know they don't have their full team and whatnot, but still no excuses. You're still the Steelers. You're supposed to stop the run. And the Raiders were able to run the ball. The other positive, tight ends. Osbury, Myers, Gordon. All three of them had significant catches, whether they were on third down or for touchdowns. Gordon had a touchdown. Brandon Myers came up with that big reception late. Osbury even had some catches to set up other scoring drives later. Huge to see the tight ends, and even the young receivers like Kreiner and Streeter step it up when Heyward-Bey was hurt. There was some real rejuvenation when Heyward-Bey was out. I was thinking everything was lost, not just because we'd lose the game, I think, but because of Heyward-Bey being out. It would make this game even suck more, but what a game. I already consider this a moral victory because it was competitive in the fourth, but the defense got to stop when they needed to in the end, and I was just worried the whole time the defense couldn't get a stop. I was tired of seeing Big Ben throwing all us left and right. He had like 10 or 11 different guys he's throwing the ball to. I haven't seen the whole stats to the game, but it was ridiculous. Either way, though, Big Ben is now 1-3 against the Oakland Raiders in his career. Something that people don't realize. But We're 1-2. We're not in the cellar of the AFC West. We're tied with the Broncos and Chiefs, which congrats to the Chiefs on getting a big win. Not a lot to brag about, but congrats to the Chiefs there. Oh no, this team, competitive. It's good to see us hanging with teams. Now we just got to get over that hump a little bit more. Good to see we're not one of the worst teams in the NFL. Thank goodness. We turn it around. We only got to take things one game at a time. But either way, good day for Oakland. The A's prevented a sweep. And I almost feel cursed with how these injuries are. I mean, same building. Brandon McCarthy gets a pitch or a hit right to the head a few weeks ago. He gets out for the year, almost a life-threatening head injury. And then Terrius Heyward-Bey gets knocked out in the head about a month later, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks later. It looked painful. I really hope these injuries, I hope Heyward-Bey's all right. It really looked painful out there. But 1-2, we got to win. And I can finally smile. Not exactly an enjoyable game to watch, but the end result and that field goal, it's all sweet and said and done. It's a walk-off win, unofficially. a lot of things we got to work on, but right now, I'm just going to enjoy it. It wasn't pretty, but you're welcome. Bengals fans, you're welcome. Ravens fans, you're welcome. Let's go Raiders, and we got to get ready for the tough game against Denver. See you guys later. By the way, to the one Steelers fan on here who's been a jerk and a pedophile, shut up. Just shut up. Don't run your mouth on Twitter and all the stuff you've been saying about the Raiders. You gotta be quiet. I don't want to hear any more talk from you about the Raiders when your team got beat to a team that had rookie receivers, an inexperienced defense, and you still lost. Shut up.